What's Good podcast.
Are you ready?
Your number.
Hey, ladies and gents, this is your girl, Brianna Javon, with another episode of What's Good podcast. We are still in season 4, and we are focusing on the retail industry, but we have a wild card Wednesday, and I am super excited for my guest to be here today.
Hey, y'all.
Say hey, Chamonda.
Hey.
Hey. So, with that being stated, as you guys know, we do not have interviews. Instead, we have genuine conversations. So, let's get into it.
All right.
You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, as you guys know, we start off with icebreakers. So your icebreaker is, which is totally different than what we normally do, but I am excited about your answer.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
What popular entrepreneurial advice do you disagree with?
I would probably have to go with, I've always heard from successful, I'm going to do air quotes, to bulk up your time, like have no balance. Like you are constantly go. And I feel like for me personally, that doesn't work for me. Like I have to have a good balance. Like I have to have a good work-life balance. I'm going to go full throttle for my business. I'm going to go full throttle for what I believe in. But at the same time, I have to have a balance where I can do me, where I have me time, because a lot of small business entrepreneurs, you're juggling 9 to 5. You're juggling being a spouse. You're juggling being a parent.
Yes.
So there is no way for me to be able to function from a mental space to be able to fully give myself to my business. So I say all that to say, have a balance. You don't have to be constantly go all the time because you're going to burn out.
That's true. So with that being stated, what does your calendar look like when it comes to your 9 to 5, you being a spouse, you being a mother as well? So what does that look like all together for you to make sure that you have time for everything?
So I have to, for me, prioritize. I have to make sure that, to answer your question, my calendar is, most of my events take place on the weekend. And I also hold my classes on Saturdays or Sundays. So I really strategize to have my most product planning, strategizing, all that happens on the weekends.
Gotcha.
For me. Let me back up. My strategizing happens when I open my eyes. I'm normally like, thank you, Jesus. Okay, what am I posting today? Thank you, Jesus. Okay, who I need to call today? You know, I'm always giving thanks first, but then I'm always, my brain is, I have a Virgo brain through and through, girl. Okay. Virgos we overthink everything. So I'm always thinking. So I have to really tell myself, go to bed. Okay, stop thinking, put your phone down. So
that's important.
Right. You have to, because if not, you get so far down the rabbit hole, you don't know what's going to come in.
That's right.
So for me, my weekends are mostly bulked up. During the week is planning. So, and that's where I try to keep a balance, because I have had events during the week, but I'm so spent at the end of it. It's like it takes a lot for me to recover. So I said, okay, I have to be able to balance and make sure that I am doing what I need to do to maintain my mental health as well. Because if not, I get overwhelmed. And then I'm just like, okay, I'm not doing this.
Yeah. Because I feel like what they say, you get lost in the sauce when it comes to business, because it's like you're always striving versus taking a rest and then getting back out there.
Right.
Because sometimes when you have that rest, you may need to reach out to a family member, maybe need to hang out with your friends, maybe need to, go to school with your kids. I don't have any kids, but maybe need to do some activities with your children.
Right.
But I feel like rest is definitely necessary, because for me, I take that time to figure out, for an example, this is our last episode of season 4, right? I need to prepare for season 5. I need to recharge, fill my cup up, and just figure out what that looks like for the next level in my journey.
Exactly.
But people, like you mentioned, I definitely agree with you. They want you to bulk up your calendar so you can look like you're busy to the world.
Right.
In reality, you're probably stressed out. And stressed out leads to you probably getting on drugs and being on alcohol and things of that nature, things that you don't even need to be involved in.
We all have to find our coping. You have to find out what helps you to be able to cope. And for me, if I get overwhelmed, I shut down. And that's not good for my business. I mean, it's a product that I have to provide to my clients. So, I have to make sure that I'm, A1. And that's not to say, when I say don't bulk up your calendar or don't have a balance, I'm always thinking about what's next. Even in the middle of doing an event, I'm thinking about what's next. What's the next level that I can take Love Jones to, take myself to get Love Jones to where it needs to be. But at the same time, I have to tell myself, Chamonda, to slow down, one step at a time. That's where my dope wife comes in, because she's a quick and constant reminder of, slow down.
Yes.
It's okay.
I love that.
Yes.
We're definitely going to get into that in a minute. But as you guys know, we always start off the conversation as who is the guest of the day. So for you, who is Chamonda?
Well, I am Chamonda Gray. Right now, I'm going to have the hat on of CEO of Love Jones Events.
Mm-hmm.
But me personally, I am a lover of love. I love love. People know that about me.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been told that my spirit is sweet.
Yes,
I've always been told, I have a light that shines. So I always want to exude that.
Mm-hmm.
And I am a firm believer in just be kind.
Mm-hmm.
Be kind to people. You never know what they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't hurt to speak. It doesn't hurt to smile.
Yeah.
But for me, I had, I was loved growing up, but I had a lot of traumatic things that happened to me as a child.
Mm-hmm.
Things that probably anyone else probably would have driven them to do all things illicit. I say that all the time. But I had to garner up the strength to say, you know what? This isn't going to break me. At every turn, it's not going to break me.
Mm-hmm.
And I just took that and I let it make me stronger, not break me down. Because it could have easily, coming from a toxic household, on the outside, you look okay. But on the inside, people, my cousins used to tell me all the time, you had everything when you were growing up. And as I got older, I had to tell them I would have rather been broke. I would have rather been homeless than to go through what I went through. But God is good. And I sit here today, happy, healthy. I've been through a lot. We all have. We've all had our own, stumbling blocks.
Yeah.
But, I just built on them. And I have always had a love of love. Even as a kid, I remember, this is probably before your time, baby, because I know I'm a little bit older than you. But the Ebony magazine, when Eddie Murphy married Nicole Murphy.
Yes.
They had their whole wedding spread in Ebony.
Really?
I cut out all those pictures. I just recently threw that stuff in the trash, but I cut out all those pictures.
Oh, wow.
I ran upon them when we were moving, and I was like, I remember when I cut this out. And I said then, I'm going to have this wedding, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to have these flowers. I'm going to do this. And it just never, that feeling never went away. So even when I walk into a grocery store and I see fresh flowers, it just delights my heart. So.
What was it specifically about flowers, though?
I don't know. I think it's just, to me, they represent a newness, just being renewed. A flower is going to bloom. Yeah. It starts out as a seed, it's buried, but then as it's nurtured, for me, that's God. That's love. When I'm nurtured, I bloom. So when I see those flowers, I'm like, this is God's grace. A little bit of God's grace right here, right in front of me that I can tangibly touch. Yes. And that just makes me happy.
Oh, that's the symbolism is beautiful.
Yes.
I love that. And so I do want to ask you, for the listeners, in particular, when we do go through things that you mentioned, those stumbling blocks, for you to keep that spirit of love within you, right? How did you do that? Because I feel like certain times we can get knocked off and just sit in that anger and sit in that, I can't believe this is happening to me. Like, why is this happening to me? And just start questioning a lot of things. But instead, as you mentioned, you kept your spirit within love. This is not going to be the end of all for me. I know God has something better for me. This is grace. This is, something else is going to be outside of this for me, right? How did you keep that spirit as far as love during those trying times?
So for me, I had to understand and realize, because I have not always walked in love. Now, do not get me wrong. I love Jesus, but don't try me. You can try Jesus, don't try me.
Okay, I love that reference. I can't even think his name.
I don't know if you saw that Tabitha Brown. Listen, that's the kind of read I'm going to give you, but do not get it wrong. I do have a little Tupac in me too. Listen,
come on,
I'm
gangster.
bless your spirit, but don't cross me. But anyway, when I was in a space of not love, when I was in a space of so much anger, so much hatred, so much, it was just bubbling. And one day I just said, you know what? This isn't doing anything to the people that have hurt me. This isn't doing anything to the situation that has put me here, but it's making me sick. So why am I going to continue to fester in this instead of just walking in love? And I said, you know what? I have to forgive people for me. It's not for them. Because that 9 times out of 10, they're never going to say I'm sorry. Yeah. They're never going to apologize because they don't feel like they did anything wrong. So I have to say, Chamonda, do this for you. Just choose love every time. Handle everybody with love. I love you with the love of God, but I don't have to deal with you. So that's the way I have to move through my life with anybody. I don't care who you are. Listen, I love you, but I don't have to deal with you, baby. So
you better say it. That reminds me of my mom. She always says you can feed somebody with a wooden spoon.
Yes, long handle. I can make this handle as long or as short as I need it to be, depending on how you handle the situation with me. Because I'm going to always give you love. And if you choose to abuse that, that's fine and dandy too, but I'm going to deal with you from over there. And I'm going to be over here where my peace is. And I had to learn here recently to protect my peace at all costs.
You better say it.
Because I used to walk through life trying to please people. You know, I want everybody happy because I love love. But I said, you know what? I am sacrificing my own self for somebody else's happiness. And sometimes that's okay. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, my son, I love my son with everything. So I'm going to sacrifice my happiness for him. He's 8. Now, if he's 18 and you doing crazy stuff, I love you, but I don't love you from over there, little boy. But, you know, I just had to learn, love just gets you further. Love is going to carry you.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to get a lot further in life on all levels, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, with just love and just choosing happy. Just choose to be happy. Because everything to me in life is a choice.
Yeah.
Right. Either you're going to choose to deal with this negatively and let it tear you down, let it bring you down, or either you're going to say, you know what, this happened to me, but it's not me. And I had to learn that everything is situational. Nothing is permanent.
Temporary.
Yes, it will pass. So I'm just waiting. You know, so if I feel like I'm in a storm, it's going to pass. It'll pass. I can't allow myself to wallow in it. I got to pick myself up and let's go. What's next?
Yes.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
This is touching my heart because I'm a type of person, I'm a server. I love serving people. Whatever you need, I got it.
Right.
You know, if I can't get it, let me reach out to my network and just make it happen. And I'm learning now to say no if I can't do it. Because I'm a type of person, you would get all the batteries of my life. Because I'm stretching to make it happen. Right. Because if I say I'm going to do it, I'm not a flake.
Right.
I am not a flake because I hate people that are flake.
Exactly.
So my daddy always taught me treat people the way you want to be treated.
Exactly.
So for me, I'm a stretch and do this, and that. And so for me, that was a learning lesson of now just saying no.
Right. And let your no be no.
Yes.
And they be okay with it being no.
Because it's a complete sentence from what I was just taught. I was just taught that no is a complete sentence.
Period. Not no, comma, I think, no, not right now.
And explaining yourself.
No, it's just no. No.
I just learned that. So that was really touching my heart when you were saying that because I think a lot of people need to understand that. Like it's okay to give, but when it's that time for you to say no, just say it.
Right. Because if you continue to give and there's nothing more of you, then what do you have?
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you people are not going to give you all of them. They're not going to get spent. And that's okay too. And then there comes that balance.
Yeah.
So it's all about balance.
All right, so let's talk about Love Jones.
Yes.
Now, earlier when I said I'm going to give y'all the history lesson, we met maybe 2.5, 3 years ago.
Yes.
And when I heard her story about Love Jones, when I say I was sobbing, I was crying, I was like, where my tissue at? It was just beautiful. And now that I'm hearing your story now about Love Jones and just how you've always been just open to just love, I can see it how all the pieces come together.
Right.
And so let's give the people, how did Love Jones come about?
Okay. So Love Jones was born, again, I've always had an affinity for love as a child, but I really poured into the business probably about 10 years ago. And so, you know, I called it my side gig and I had to stop calling it that. I said, this is my passion. This is just a passion I'm getting paid for. Just so happened. So fast forward to tape. My late husband and I were married. We got married on May 26th, who was my son's father. And on June 7th, he died of a massive heart attack in front of me. And I felt like at that point, I couldn't go on. Like I had shit down. But then I would look at my baby and I say, you know what? I have to keep going. But as far as doing a business, no. That was a no for me. That was a no, period. But it was like I kept hearing his voice. Now, my last name used to be Jones. And so the name Love Jones was born because, we as a people, we understand when you have a Love Jones for something, you can't get enough of it. And so I said, what better way than the Love Jones events? And so the name of the company is actually the Love, Jones events, because to me, my tagline is always end in love. So it's like the end of a love letter. Love Jones.
Oh,
yes. A lot of people don't notice the comma there, but there's a comma there. It's like the end of a letter, end of a love letter, and it's always end in love. Is my tagline. Yes.
No idea.
Yes. So, of course, after being a newlywed and a widow in less than 2 weeks, as you can imagine, I was like, I'm not doing this. But it's like I just kept hearing his spirit say, what are you doing? Get up. This is in you. And one day I just said, you know what? I hear you. I hear you and I feel you. And God just kept speaking to my heart. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to press forward. And here we are. And so Love Jones, actually before Love Jones, I dabbled with the name Love Jones, and then he died. And I was like, nope, I'm done. And then his spirit kept coming. And I said, okay, well, here it is. And so I birthed Love Jones. And it was so funny because after he passed away, I told myself, I'm not falling in love again. Not gonna happen. No. I had closed my heart off to love, which is funny for me to say because I love love.
Right.
But, when you've had such a traumatic experience, with watching your best friend die, it was something.
And it was right there in front of you.
Yeah. We were laying in bed and he just started having a heart attack. And it was the craziest thing. It's like, it almost feels sometimes like I'm dreaming, like that didn't happen. But then when my son says, I'm just thinking about my dad because he was 4, he went to bed with a father, woke up without one.
Yeah.
And so he's my driving force. So that's how Love Jones was born. So my last name was Jones at that time. So it just went together, Love Jones. We have a Love Jones for something. And so, and here we are. Wow. And so, I've remarried since then. And now my last name is Gray. And for a split second, I thought about changing the name of the company. And I said, nope, Love Jones it is. Because I'm still operating in love. And so we always are going to end in love. So why would I change that?
That's true.
So here we are.
Okay. So in particular, when you mentioned that it started off as a passion, but you were still making money from it, right? That's a blessing. So let me tell you.
Listen.
Yeah. I want to talk about, as far as the foundation of it, was it always flowers? Was it always of service? Was it always events? What was the foundation of your company first?
So initially when I started out, it was events only. I only did event coordination, event management. I dabbled with the flowers, but I've always loved them. But I was scared of them. I was scared, I'm too heavy-handed, I'm going to break them. And then I got in a pinch. And one day I had to make a bouquet. This girl's florist fell through and I was like, she's like, I need flowers. I was like, okay, I can do it. I got you. Okay. So, and as I was doing it, it just became so natural. And I was like, I like this, Now, don't get me wrong. I love event coordination. I love all my brides become my friends. Like we're good friends now. They come in as clients, leave as family. So
love it.
But I just kept dabbling in the flowers. So I just dug deeper. I started researching. I started reading up flowers. I started, taking courses. And then I just found this is what I love to do. This, as I call it, playing in flowers is my passion. And so while I started out, and I still do event coordination, but my main focus is floral decor because it just makes me happy. I love working with it and I love seeing the look on my client's face and I hope this doesn't sound cocky, when they've given me a vision and I bring it to life and their words are, this is way more than I thought. This is way better than I ever thought it was ever going to look.
Yes.
So that, just seeing the pure joy on their face, especially the brides, when they walk into that reception area that was once a blank slate and now they see, what they saw as a child, as a little girl, and they say, "Oh my God, this is exactly what I wanted." I don't even have to get money. Don't get that wrong.
Okay.
I want to be paid, but
it's still a service.
it's still a service. Thanks. Bills need to be paid. But just to see that pure joy in their eye, that's payment enough.
Yes.
So,
that.
yes.
So, with that being stated, you still have your 9 to 5. So when it comes to making that time, I know you mentioned just on the weekends, but how did you configure that calendar? Because I know I mentioned earlier, what does your calendar look like? But how did you configure it to say, okay, I know I need to work on this. Okay, I know I need to work on this. Looking at my calendar, I have time to put here and I have time to put there. What did that process look for you?
So for
time
me,
management.
Right. I had to learn how to manage my time efficiently to where I was being effective in what I was trying to do. So for me, that means I wake up maybe an hour or two before I need to, when it's time to do, my social media, because as you know, social media is the driving force for any service industry at this point. It really used to be for just event management. People want to see your work. But now it doesn't matter what you do. You have Instagram. That's the first thing they ask. You have Instagram, you got Facebook. They don't even want to go to your website anymore.
That is true.
Where's your Instagram? But
I never thought about that. I don't. The conversation never goes to, okay, yeah, what's your website?
Right. No. Where's your Instagram? Yeah. Are you on TikTok? Anyway, I'm not.
Me either.
I'm not ready for that. But anyway, for me, I have to carve out that time, maybe my lunch break. If I have a consultation I need to do, I'll try to schedule those during the day, take my lunch hour, do a consultation. When I'm off work, I would take off one hat with the corporate 9 to 5 and I put on my Love Jones hat. So I have to carve out the time in the mornings before I start my 9 to 5, when I can find meeting time during the day, maybe my lunch hour, and then in the evenings and definitely the weekends. That's when I do the majority of, my consults, my setups, my strikes, all that kind of stuff. So.
And so I wanted to ask you, consultations. What does that look like? Do people come to you, or is it like, a Calendly that they just, okay, I've heard about her, let me go look at this, and now I got to reach out, word of mouth. How are you advertising Love Jones?
So, funny you asked that. I have zero advertising. It's all word of mouth at this point.
And that's why I asked that, because everybody has a different strategy.
Right.
I don't think it's always just social media. And I feel like I need to learn social media, but I hate social media. Sometimes it could just be word of mouth.
Right. And I think I put one ad out one time in the last 10, 15 years I've been doing this, but everything else has been word of mouth. And so when girls, normally now it's Facebook Messenger, or they, they'll get my phone number from someone else from an event that they were at, but it's normally just word of mouth. And so when you have a consultation with me, I try to find out, I pick your brain. It's fact finding. I need to know, what do you like to see? What do you not want to see? Are you a flower girl? Because not all women love flowers.
That's true.
I want a heavy candle presence. Sorry. So then we just go whatever you want. But the consultation, I am basically picking your brain to figure out what you want to see, what you don't want to see. And I, make it clear, if I'm doing your event management, I am the go-to. I don't want them bothering you day of. There should be no one knocking on your bridal suite door saying, where is this? Come to me. Do not talk to my bride.
I love that, though. Take the stress off of her.
Right. That's the point of having an event coordinator. If your coordinator is not the liaison, is not your point of contact, then you have the wrong planner, honey.
She said it.
I'm just saying.
And so with that being said, you just mentioned that, but what else would be different from your services versus another event coordinator? Because I think that is a really great benefit.
Right. I feel like, to me, it's more personal because I get on a level with you. It's not just business with me. And I don't just say that just to be saying that. Like I just said, all of my clients are now my friends because I feel like, getting married is stressful. Having an event is stressful. You don't want, you want to make sure that you have someone on your team that understands, that's been on both sides of the table.
Yeah.
I've been a bride. I've had events. So I know, you want that person there that's going to dot all your I's and cross all your T's. So for me, I am very detail oriented. I'm a Virgo. Virgos, we work in lists. Everything has to go in order. So that's how I work with my business. Nice. Everything has to make sense. So if it doesn't make logical sense, we're going to have a conversation, and you have to find a planner, an event designer that is logical. Because, a lot of times when people come to you, they don't know how much stuff costs. And so, they're like, oh, I want to have people hanging from the ceiling. I want, champagne popping, but I'm only spending $50.
Yeah.
Well, baby,
we're going to scale it down.
We're going to have to bring that down. And I think a lot of planners are scared to tell their clients, well, no, we can't do that. But you have to follow your no with the solution. Don't just say no. Then looking at her like, okay, what you got next? Well, no, we can't do that, but we can do this. So I feel like for me, it's more of a personal service for me because I take it serious. You're not just a client.
That's true.
You're one of my girls now. You're one of my guys, whatever it may be, whether you're having an event or whether you just want some flowers delivered. It's all personal to me. I want to know if you're having these flowers delivered to your husband and your wife, what's their favorite flower? Don't just tell me a color. Do they have a particular favorite flower? I want them, when they look at this piece, when they get it, to say, I know this came from my honey.
Because it's customized. It's for me.
Right. And that's the thing that I drive home. We are all custom. I have people come to me and they say, well, how much do you charge for this? Well, I can't tell you that because everything I do is custom. I don't do, nothing is in a box for me. Everything is out of the box for me because I don't want you to have the same party that somebody else had yesterday.
That's true.
So it needs to speak to you. Your space should speak to you.
I love that.
Yes.
That's so good. All right. So, Love Jones, we talked about it. That was so good.
Thank you.
Now we're going to go on to your wedding.
Yes.
I want to know what your wedding looked like.
Funny. You would think the planner's going to have people hanging from the ceiling.
That's what I'm trying to do. I want to know the description. I want to know what they look like. I want to know everything.
It's so funny because when I got engaged, I put it on my page. So it was, I had created the hashtag follow the planner. So I went through everything when I got engaged, when I picked up my jewelry. But funny thing is, I kept everything low key. We had right at 100 guests.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
due to the pandemic, or that's just what you guys chose?
It's just what we chose.
Okay.
I don't even think the pandemic was going on.
Okay.
It wasn't, because it was in.
Best friend said no.
No. She was my maid of honor, so she knows. No, it was before the pandemic, which is funny because our original plan was to get married the following year, which is when the pandemic hit.
Oh, that's God.
Nothing but God, girl. But, it was very low key. I said, I want this big. Now, I did want this big old grand dress, but then I said, I don't want that. I just want something simple. And my dress was so simple. I didn't have any bling. I used to work at David's Bridal part-time, girl.
Oh.
So as you can imagine, a girl, just think about it, a little girl that's always loved weddings.
Yeah.
I was like
I'm
a kid in a candy store.
Ebony, when you cut out all.
And here I am in David's Bridal looking at all these gowns like, oh. So, when I didn't have a customer, I'm like, I'm getting this dress. I want this with all this bling on it. I wanted this diamond encrusted bodice and big puffy skirt. None of that happened. I had a strapless Vera Wang gown, no bling, pleated Little Mermaid skirt. I wanted my hair to be all this dippity-doo, girl. I did my own hair. Now, I did get my makeup done, but my wedding was very intimate, and that's exactly what we wanted.
Love it.
Yes.
Love it. Okay, so get a little personal. Your husband passed away, and now you found love again.
I did.
What did that look like for you just to invite that back into your life? Because I can just imagine for people who go through divorces, and my mom, she divorced, my father and my mother divorced, and she was open to love again. And so I want to ask you, what did that look like for you to say, okay, I'm open, I'm ready, and let's just do it at this point?
Well, it took a while for me to get there because as I stated, after my late husband died, I totally turned love off. I said, I'm not doing this. It's just going to be me and my kid. I'm probably going to be single till he graduates college, just doing my thing. And then time went by and I prayed. I just prayed. And it's so funny because when I prayed to God for whomever he was making or had for me, I never said, let the man. I said, let the person that you have for me be this, 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 and this. And it's so funny because my wife, I didn't pray for a woman.
Uh-huh.
I was a little like, okay, why am I looking at this woman? I don't like women. But it was something, it's so funny because I didn't see her gender. I actually saw her spirit. Her spirit drew me to her. And it's so funny because I saw her from across the room. Funny story. And I said, oh, he's cute. And she turned the corner and I was like, oh no, that's a girl. I said, no, that's a girl. That's a girl. That's a girl. And then it was so funny because I was doing a party and she was a guest at the party.
Okay.
And so she knew the person I was doing the party for.
Okay.
And so the party went on and I kept looking at her during the night and I was just like, what are you doing? You don't like women. And so got home. I woke up the next morning and she was the first thing on my mind.
Really?
Right. Crazy girl. So I called our mutual friend and I was like, I need to talk to you about something. And she was like, what is it? And I was like,
But did y'all talk at the event?
I mean,
or just
we were at Blues Palace, girls. So you know how little Blues, so we were like this.
Okay.
And so, we were talking to one another at the party. I was talking to everybody. I was the planner.
So I'm just trying to figure out the impact she had on you for you to wake up.
Listen, it was just something about her. Okay. It was something about just her aura, just her spirit. It was just her. And so the next day, I called my friend and I was like, hey, what are you doing? She was like, nothing. I was like, hey, I can't stop thinking about your friend. And she was like, who? And I told her and she was like, girl, oh my God. And so that fateful day, I said, when we hang up, this is between you and I. Okay. Hung up the phone. Little did I know.
She called
her. And as they say, she sent me a friend request. She jumped in my DM. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Thanks.
Apparently, if she was here, she would say something different. That's
exactly what happened. She jumped in my DM and from that day, let me tell you how, when you know. That was on March 30th. We met on March 30th. We talked all day March 31st. She jumped in my DM, sent me a friend request. She proposed in July. We were married in October. When you know.
That is true. And there was no need to waste time.
No. And it's like everything that I prayed for, it was in her. And it's so crazy because I still wake up and I look at her like, it's like I literally prayed this girl right into my life. So, and she is so supportive of my journey with the business and she's always involved on how we can grow. What's next? So it's a beautiful thing to be linked, and I feel like spiritually linked with someone that is truly equally yoked to you.
I don't feel like there's no better feeling than that.
Yes, it's the best. It's the best to know that every day you have somebody, even when there are days when I'm like, I don't know if I can do this, or, because we all have that self-doubt. You know what I'm saying?
It's just human.
Right. It creeps in and then she's like, well, you got it. Don't be scared.
Yeah.
She's fearless. She is truly fearless.
Yes.
And so
would you say that you're fearless, or are you just more with detail? And if it doesn't look right, I'm not doing it.
Correct. It has to make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, my keyword is make it make sense. Please help me see what you're seeing.
That's me too.
Yeah. So she's very much engaged, which I love. She's so supportive. I love it. I really feel like
it makes sense.
It does. It makes logical sense.
Okay. All right. So, ladies and gents, we're going to go into the second half, which is the storytelling portion. Okay. Highs and lows of if that's your life, your business, whatever you want to share. So, the first one is your high. What would be something that you would say, Chamonda, you did it, pat on the back, 2 thumbs up, 5 stars?
So, I've always wanted, once I understood floral and how it worked, I wanted to pour into someone how I was poured into. And that's how Petal was born. Okay. So I have monthly, well now every other monthly floral design classes. Okay. And they're called Petal. And that stands for Procuring Everything That's All Love. Yes. On Instagram. Follow it. Have a sale going on right now. But so the class is basically, it's a DIY. I feel like everyone wants to plant flowers, just like me. Even if you're a novice or if you say, oh, I've been doing this, everyone can stand to learn something.
That's true.
So I studied under the tutelage of someone that's on Hallmark. I took his classes and he was awesome.
Wow.
Yes, I have all his books. And he instilled something in me that I want to instill in others. And so I am always of the mindset, give what you get. So I'm going to give what I have gotten. And so the class is an opportunity if you are trying to dabble to get into floral design, if you just love flowers, or if you just need a day out with your girls.
Yeah.
Come to Petal. We provide everything. All you have to do is show up.
Love that.
Yes, we provide the flowers. We provide the vessel, which is the vase. We have small bites. We have all the tools you need. You learn how to put your piece together, and you're also learning about tips to take care of your flowers once you get them home. Tips
that's
to make
needed.
Yes, because listen, do not have your flowers dying after day 2. I teach you how to make them live.
Okay, I got a confession. You're gonna laugh at me.
Oh Lord, I'm scared.
I'm scared to say this because I just know your eyes gonna be like, really, Bree? I killed a bamboo plant. I know.
How? In the words of Kanye, houseway.
I don't know if it was a situation because I had brought it from Houston to Dallas and maybe the bumps and things of that nature.
That's what we're gonna say. It was the bumps.
That 4-hour drive. The plant was like, this isn't really safe for me.
Hold on. The plant died from Houston to Dallas? Bree, no.
I don't know how it died. I was looking at things that was like, name the plant your nickname. So I was like, good morning, Bree. Good morning.
You have to talk to the baby.
And then they told me not to water it. So I think the aftermath is very important to tell somebody because they didn't give me the aftermath.
Oh my God.
I just so happened to look at her and she started turning yellow, and then yellow turned into brown. I was like, what am I doing?
She was dead, baby. You killed that baby. Oh.
I don't know what I did.
It's okay. Bamboo is I don't know how you killed bamboo, but okay. That's just like killing a succulent.
And they are indoors.
Yes.
So I'm just trying to figure out. So
maybe it was just a bad bamboo when you received it. That's what we're going to say. We're going to stick to that story. It was just bad when you got it. That's all it was.
And I just felt so bad because I'm like, oh, I'm about to get into plants. This is going to be fun. I would wake up and look. I even put it on my little desktop.
Try it again. But buy it here, please. Do not drive it from Houston back home. I want you to go downtown.
Because it was a gift too, so that's why I was feeling even more. If he hears this, he's gonna be like, "For real, Bree." He does not know, so I am sorry, DeMarcus.
Confession. It's okay. We'll get another one, DeMarcus. It's okay. We'll get another one.
So I think it's very important to share the aftermath. Okay, this sounds good. We did it here. It's exciting, but when I get home, what do I do?
Correct. So we teach aftercare. I teach you, how to use the tools. I teach you how to keep your plants alive, how to touch them, because you have to be very careful. Now, some plants, some flowers are very fickle, so you have to be very careful how you handle them. So I teach you that. So I've always wanted to do that. So for me to be able to accomplish that, I'm now going on my 3rd class this month, July 25th, and I have classes planned throughout the end of the year. And so, for me, as much as I love people, I am terrified to get up and talk in front of people. So, and it's crazy, and I'm pretty sure every creative feels this. Before every event, I get nervous.
Yeah.
I get so nervous, even though I know I got this. I can do this. For me, that was one of my biggest pinnacles, to be able to say, I am teaching people and people are actually learning.
Yeah.
And so it feels good to, have people walk away, when they first walk into class, they're like, oh, I can't do that. They'll see the picture or that's going to look like this. And I'm like, yeah, you got it. And then when they get to the end and they have made this beautiful masterpiece, like, oh my God, I can't believe I did this. So that just feels so good. So
it's like confirmation in a sense. It's me being a creative too. When I get the reviews or I get the feedback and things of that nature, it's like, I'm really doing something. Right. So I can just imagine for you just seeing the happy faces and seeing the results of what you put in to help somebody else. Yep. It's like, okay, I see what you did, Lord.
All right, I see you, Lord.
All right, so we talked about your high, and on the other end of the spectrum, we also have lows.
Yes.
So what was a low in your life or a business where you kind of question, should I move forward with this? Is this really what I should be doing? And then from there, how did you push through? Because, of course, you're still here to this day.
Right.
So how did you push through?
I wouldn't say necessarily a particular low, but, I had to learn because there are so many floors, right?
Mhm.
There are so many people out here doing floral design. There are so many people out here doing planning,
Mhm.
It can kind of get overwhelming when you're looking at someone else's work and you're like, oh, how did they do that?
Mhm.
I can't do that. I can't offer that service. But then I had to step back and say, I am who I am.
Mhm.
And what I have to offer is just as good as what they have to offer. I've heard the analogy of, so I guess to answer your question, that was a low for me because I doubted myself so much. I almost said, I don't want to do this,
Yeah.
And then I had to realize, hey, you dope too.
Mhm.
You got this. What you have to offer is just as good as the next person.
That's right.
But the analogy that I learned, that I've heard from entrepreneurs and people with a small business, there are a million, when you go to the store and you go down the bread aisle,
Mhm.
there are a million loaves of bread.
That is true.
They may be different varieties, but they all still bread.
That's true.
But you know what bread you want.
Mhm.
So I have to look at it as there are a million different floors. There are a million different planners, but
Mhm.
people know what they want.
Mhm.
So they know when they want that personal service, when they want that personal touch, when they want that love touch, they know who to call me.
Y'all hear that love touch?
Yes, that love touch. Yes.
All right. So for people that's listening, if they want to be a florist, if they want to start a business, anything of that nature, I call this one free advice. I feel like people are paying thousands of dollars for these business coaches and consultants, and nothing against them because I know I'm a podcast strategist myself. But what would be one thing that you can give somebody for free right now to where they walk away from this episode and say, "Thank you, Chamonda, for
For me, it was keep it professional. Make sure that
that."
you are legit. And when I say legit, I mean make sure you get your tax ID. Make sure that you're paying your taxes. Make sure that you are running your business as a business. If you're going to make this a business, don't look at it as a hustle. Because when you hustle, you do anything. And when I say anything, to keep that afloat. That's not to say that you don't sacrifice for your business,
Mhm.
but be on the legit. So no one can come in and take what's yours. So
Mhm.
get registered. Register your business name. Make sure that you have your tax ID. If you're becoming an LLC, pay the appropriate fees. You know, I've seen people, try to cut the corners and then at the end everything falls apart because they have nothing to fall back on.
That's true.
So I guess I say all that to say make sure your foundation is strong
Mhm.
and make sure that you surround yourself with people that are going to support you. Support you at all costs, even good, bad, ugly, indifferent. Make sure that you have a strong circle because you need them.
Mhm. That's
Yeah,
it right there.
that's it.
That was good.
Yeah.
All right, so tell the people website, Instagram,
Absolutely.
Twitter, all those good things to get in touch with you.
Yes.
And then also, as far as like services and things of that nature, I know you mentioned the sales, so go ahead and plug all that in.
Okay, girl. Thank you. So right now we are actually going through a rebrand. So my website is The Love Jones Events with an S .com. Instagram, same thing. The Love Jones Events, no comma. Don't put a comma in there. It's just all together. Facebook, the same. I do not have Twitter. I need to get into that realm. So right now, you can contact us. You can contact me by phone, by email. Email is thelovejonesevents@gmail.com. But right now, you'll see if you go onto the website, you'll see what it looks like now. But be on the lookout; it's changing. So we're completely rebranding. Same name, different color scheme, different color palette. I'm super excited about it.
So no more purple?
No more purple.
Oh.
I know.
love that
I
color.
know. Purple is royalty, but I'm still royalty.
Yes, you are.
But we are changing it. Look for our green. Yes, prosperity.
Yes.
Yes, greens and golds. And yes, so I'm super excited about that. I'm working with a web designer right now. We're doing photos. I mean, the whole shebang. It's all coming together. So I'm super excited about that. Check out Petal. If you are interested in Girls' Day, we do private pedal parties where you do not have to come out to the workshop. We're bringing the workshop to you in your home. I have an array of network of caterers. So if something you need to have at your home, I have rentals, all that. So I like to be called like the one-stop shop.
Yes,
so
that's important.
If you need it, I got you. I have a great network of people, a great network of vendors that can hook you up with everything you need. But you can contact us again by email, the Love Jones Events @gmail, phone 214-422-0812. I'm sorry, 0810. And all this information is on the website as well. But make sure you're following Instagram and Facebook because we do have giveaways from time to time.
Who doesn't like a giveaway?
Hello, who doesn't like a freebie? And thank you. We have raffles. I mean, we have flowers for all events. So if you want to have some flowers delivered and you say, I don't want to do a bouquet of roses. If you want a gift box, check out the website. We have, if you have a watch that you want for your wife, we can pair that with flowers. I mean, it's so many different avenues we can take, and we do it all. So give us a call. We'll take care of all your needs.
Boom.
Boom.
Mini commercial.
Yes.
I love it.
And cut.
Just an and cut. Okay. All right. So you guys, we always end this off, as far as the episode, with a motivational moment. Motivational moment could be a Bible verse, a quote, anything just to motivate you on top of the one free advice. When you leave here, you just have something to think about, right? So today is a quote, and as y'all know, it definitely goes with the conversation of the day. I have been so blessed and fortunate for my motivational moments because I prepare all this at home, but for some reason it ties back to what the conversation was. So I am excited to share this.
Yes.
All right. So the grind may go unnoticed, but your results will not.
Ooh, that'll preach, baby. Yes.
So I'm going to share my thoughts and then you share your thoughts.
Okay.
And then we'll be done for today. So I'm going to read it one more time for the people in the back. Okay. The grind may go unnoticed, but your results will not. To be honest, this reminded me of several different things when I first read it. For one in particular, since this is so recent, is Sha'Carri, the the track star.
Yes.
That first interview that I saw when she actually won, going to the Olympics, won the race, she was very emotional, saying that nobody knows nothing that I go through other than my family, and this is what I do it for. This is who I do it for.
Right.
And it made me emotional when I first saw that, because legit I do everything that I do for my family. They have been super supportive. Even when I quit my job, I didn't have to explain that to my mom. Me staying with her, she was just like, okay, so we about to dig into this business, what you need from me?
Right.
And I could just appreciate that. Even with my father, I've done many videos, him just sitting here and we just laughing and talking and posting it on Instagram. And it's just been a blessing, because people don't know, when I turn this off, I'm in my little room, and like, as you can see, I'm almost done with this spiral. This has been with me for the whole 2.5 years.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just here just figuring out how to level up next season, or, you know, what can I do next to monetize, or if I should even think about monetizing, and just continue to give and just be a support to people that's been so supportive to me. And I feel like certain times it's a battle, because it's like, I know I need to have these bills paid, but at the same time, I just want to give.
Right.
So I have those struggles in my head and those conversations with God, like, okay, what should I do? What shouldn't I do? And things of that nature. And it's just not having these conversations and people not seeing the hustle. It's like people only see, Bree, you out here doing that. Like, even when you had talked to me, you was like, I see you doing it, making it happen. I'm like, it's a blessing. It is a blessing. Like, even me learning how to do all this technology, because I started off in the studio. Everything just went hand in hand, because the studio where I was, they ended up closing. And I won a contest and they gave me all this equipment.
Oh, wow.
So everything was just divine. And I mean, it was tough for me to learn, because I didn't come from that type of background with technology. But me now teaching people how to start podcasts, like, everything is for a reason. So when I read this, it was like, geez Louise. Like, me getting these compliments of, Bree, you doing it, you making it happen. And even with the kickback, they now have me a part of their team with being the podcast coach there. It's like, people are noticing all the hard work that I'm putting out there. And it's like, I'm not doing this for nothing in a sense.
It's not for nothing.
Yes. So when I mentioned this quote out loud, what were your thoughts?
Well, it goes back to me. I once was told, no one is coming for you. And that resonated with me, because, you know, I've always been a go-getter, but, you know, who doesn't want to have help? You know what I'm saying? But it made me realize, you got to get up off your butt. Not to say I was on my butt, but, you know, it resonated with me, because no one is coming for you, and not everybody's going to clap. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And even if they are clapping, you have to make sure that you understand those motives. And so for me, you know, hearing that quote, you just have to know that even you may be doing everything in your power, to get you successful. And people, like you said, they'll see, oh, you're doing so well, you're doing this and this and this. But people don't know what the story behind that struggle to get you to get to that success. So, to me, that means just keep pushing.
Yeah.
Never stop pushing. Keep your grind going, no matter if people are clapping or not. No matter if people are saying good job or not. You know what your goals are. You know what you're trying to accomplish. So as long as you know that grind is going to get you to where you need to be, never stop. Yes. Keep pushing.
And that just reminds me of people that just start off. Let's say you're an influencer and you go live and you only see one person tune in, 2 people that tune in. I just feel like that's your foundation to me, because those 1 or 2 people can tell their 2 to 3 people, and now you got 6.
Right.
And then those 6 people can tell their team, and now you got 12.
Right.
Because it grows from there. So it's like, focus on the people that focus on you. Because that's how you build your community.
Yes, Lord.
And I think people forget that because they want that instant gratification of the comparison. They started when I started and this, and that. But I bet you those 6 people that support you, every time you put a new product out, they're going to buy from you.
That part.
They're going to buy from you.
Yeah.
Versus that girl that had 500,000 to 1 million followers, she tried to sell a shirt and nobody bought.
Right.
Nobody bought. So it's important for us to keep that grind, as you mentioned, to just keep moving and keep pushing, no matter what the people say. You get the claps or not, and I love that. Because people, they don't have really good intentions when they do clap, because now they're trying to figure out, okay, what you doing?
Right.
Like, it's like a whole different mode that they're in. So it's just keep moving and keep grooving, because God gonna place people in your life that needs to be in your life to get that level up or to elevate or whatever that looks like. Yep. And so that is it. Because I could talk about this all day. That was really, really good. She said, me too.
Me too.
So do you have any last thoughts or anything you feel like I missed? Anything as far as just to leave the people today from this episode?
First, I want to say thank you for having me. This was so much fun.
welcome.
I was nervous. I'm not going to lie. But I did it. Yay!
You did.
I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
You are doing it, girl.
Thank you so much.
I am so thankful that I met you those 2.5 years ago.
Yes.
That we connected. I'm glad that we have stayed connected.
Yes.
My final thought for anyone out here that is either in this game or thinking about jumping in to be an entrepreneur, know your worth. Know your worth. And be who you are. Be true to yourself. And I had to learn this the hard way. Your price is your price, baby. So do not short sell yourself to get the business. And I did that way too long. Because at the end, you're just short selling yourself. You're not short selling your customer. You're not pleasing your customer. You are short selling yourself. Let your price be your price. Know your worth. Because just like they go out here and they go to McShands, so they go, to the big time floors and they pay $300 for that piece. Why can't they pay that to you? Know your worth, charge for your product, and also charge for your time, because they're paying for your talent. So I say all that to say, do you, be true to yourself, know your worth, and never give up.
All the jewels are dropped. If you couldn't pick up one, I don't know what's wrong with you.
Are you listening? Is this thing on?
This was so good, and I just want to say thank you.
Absolutely.
Ditto. I'm just so glad that we were able to connect again in person, because I know I keep following you on Instagram, and I'm like, look at her, and I saw the wedding pictures, and I was like, this is just beautiful,
Thank you.
So I'm just very thankful for you to come on and share your story, because I already knew some background, but for me to learn a little bit more about you and just like being an entrepreneur, being a parent, having a 9-to-5, and just balancing. I just love hearing time management and your strategies, right? Because when people come on here, I'm learning myself. I'm asking these questions for a reason.
Right. And trust me, I'm absorbing too, honey.
So I'm very thankful. And for everybody that's listening, make sure you share the wealth with other folks. And this is the end. This is a wrap. This is it.
All right.
All right. So if you guys are listening to this morning, noon, evening, or night, thank you so much for listening. And we'll see you guys next time.
All right. Deuces. Peace.